Okay, welcome everybody to English 252 Introductory Composition. And I'm just looking off the screen here. You can follow along if you wish. Fall 2020 standard class, but it's not really a standard class as we're doing what's called WB, web-based. And your section for this class is WBMA. I'm Jeremy Jackson, your instructor for this English Introductory Composition class, English 252. As you can see here, it has my number listed. That's my office number at Medicine Hat College. I'm not going to be there because we're all doing this alternate sort of mode of delivery for this class, so that's really not the right number. But that is the right email, jjackson at medicinehatcollege.ab.ca. So feel free, and I'll cover this later, but feel free to email me at any time if you have any questions or concerns throughout the whole entire breadth of the semester. The course, I'm just going down this list here, of this course outline, the course times and locations. So the room is not brick and mortar. We're not face to face in this brave new world we live in. It's going to be completely online, and we're going to meet on Mondays and Fridays. The 10 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. is not really relevant. Just know that on Monday and Friday, I'm going to post a lecture if a lecture is due that day. And we're getting to that later of how we're going to actually, how the lecture is actually going to be delivered. Calendar description. This course focuses on academic essay writing and critical thinking at the university level. English 252 is not a remedial course. Students should have at least a senior high school level of competency in both grammar and composition. Note, students cannot receive credit for both English 252 and Gen Ed 1401. This is a 42-hour class with 3 credits obtained if you successfully complete. Office hours. In this modified alternate sort of online course that we're doing, the office hours are sort of wonky. You can contact me at any time. As we have shifted to the alternate instruction online courses, feel free to contact me via email anytime during the week in order to field any questions or concerns or seek any clarification for this class. It could be on the weekend as well. Uh, you know, many individuals, that's when they catch up on their schoolwork. It's on the weekend, so feel free to do that as well. And usually I typically get back right away. On the weekend, maybe I'm out doing something with my family. It'll definitely be that day that I get back to you, but it might not be exactly right away. So the way this class sort of operates, I did one in the summer. I did 2 classes in the summer, and they were both online. Um, and so there's some level of disconnect between me, the instructor, and you, the students. But we try to mitigate that as much as possible. And the way to do that, the way to do so is you keep on top of your assignments. You check Blackboard every day. I'm going to post, if there's a lecture due that day, I'm going to post the lecture to Blackboard, and I'm simultaneously going to email you the link to the YouTube lecture. All the lectures are going to be through YouTube, as you see here. It's going to be a PowerPoint with my voice superimposed over it, and then uploaded to YouTube. And I think it worked out well. During the summer for the 2 classes that I taught. They had to, in the summer, it's especially condensed because it's only a 1 month class, right? So they had to check it every day and be online every day. This class relies heavily, I can't stress that enough, on the use of Blackboard. We're going to do class discussions. We're going to do workshopping of various essays, your essays on Blackboard. I look forward to it. Stick with it, and hopefully we have a good ride. Okay, the learning resources for this class is the book, as you can see here, by K.M. Morin and E. Henderson. The Empowered Writer is the title, 3rd edition. There's other editions floating out there. Individuals show up for class with the wrong edition, but the same title, The Empowered Writer. There, I guess it's okay if you can get the chapter summaries done with that. Say we're covering an argumentative essay, and I want you to read the argumentative chapter for that essay in the book, The Empowered Writer, and then summarize it. it to me, for this edition, 3rd edition, is chapter, say, 6. But for you, if you have a different edition, 2nd edition, it always ends up being wonky, like it's chapter 9 or chapter 13. So just bear that in mind if you have a different edition. Just go for the edition, the 3rd edition, which is what's required for this class. You can see the link here, purchasing learning resources. You can follow that link and buy it online through the bookstore. You can find one floating around. You can order it from Amazon, which I recommend. We're not going to need it till I think, well, we're looking at the dates to see when we're going to actually need it. So you might have some time. Course objectives and learning outcomes. Students successfully completing English 252 should be able to do the following. One, think critically when analyzing various literary works, which we will look at. Two, distinguish between a text's main points and its supporting details. Three, summarize another author's work. Four, use correct grammatical form, and that's part of the class. That will be part of this class. Correct grammatical form. The mechanics of composition includes the ability to one to craft not only a line or a sentence or a paragraph, but the entire essay itself to be cogent and to be grammatically sound, so that it's readable. Once grammar mistakes start happening to such a frequency that it gets in the way of the very content of the essay, that's when it really becomes a problem. And I'm going to hand out I'm going to email rather, and then post to Blackboard a uh, a way that we can some guidelines, a rubric for what an essay should look like, what an A essay looks like, what a B, what a C, what a D, what a failing essay looks like. Number five, write unified, coherent, and complete sentences, paragraphs, and essays. So right back to the mechanics of university compositional writing, right? Number six, argue logically and ethically, showing sensitivity to audience in both written and oral presented formats. We're not going to have an oral presentation within this class, so just negate that part of that sentence. Number seven, use research sources effectively to support a well-constructed argument, including the following abilities. Locate appropriate sources using the library catalog, article databases, and the internet, especially those two latter ones, article databases and the internet is what we're going to use. Evaluate sources for suitability and credibility. Integrate sources smoothly and logically into the text, and document sources correctly using a recognized citation style for this class. And we're going to be tested on it. You're going to get a large lecture on it, which is Modern Language Association formatting style is what we're going to use for this class. That's how we're going to cite using MLA formatting style. I'll give a robust lecture on it, a PowerPoint via YouTube video. And then at the end of the course, well, throughout the course, I'm going to be mentioning things within your essays at least once. When I get the essays, I'm going to say, hey, this is why you got this grade, because your MLA wasn't sound. In fact, you're actually using APA, and you shouldn't be using APA. And then I'm going to say, hey, we went over this large lecture on MLA. It's in the rubric that MLA brings you, if you have this many mistakes of it, it brings you down to a B or a C, right? But if you stick with MLA citation, it's one of the easiest citations, you're going to be fine. You should be fine. And you just follow the regular assignment due dates. And yeah, let's go ahead and go to the next page. Okay, detailed course content, topics, and sequencing. English 252 is an introductory university level composition course designed to focus on academic essay writing and critical thinking. In order to enhance their current skills, students, you guys, will study examples of effective writing and compose various written and oral assignments on their own. All right, we're not going to do oral assignments, so just negate that. But yes, we are going to be given examples via YouTube. I'll provide plenty of examples on each essay that we write, both good essays. Typically, they were student essays from the past that I got their permission to use it. I've taken out their name, redacted their name so we can't see it. And it's in the proper formatting. You can use these examples. I'll email them to you. But we're going to do lectures on them, right? Showing you what was effective. How is this evocative compositional writing at a university and college level? And then we'll parse from it. I'll parse from it the various parts and mechanics, grammatical errors, if there are any, what they're doing right, how their MLA is correct, how the MLA is wrong, how you should not want your MLA to be like this, or you should want to exemplify exactly as this student and emulate what they're doing with regard to their MLA. How is this individual creating a strong argument on paper? Are they sticking to the thesis statement and summarizing their points in great proximity to the thesis statement of what they want to talk about within their essay, and then let the essay unfold in the same order that they mentioned their summary? You're going to comment on other students' essays as well within Blackboard. I'll talk about that in a moment. To that end, this course will provide flexible and differing styles of writing with varying modes of delivery. The main mode of delivery, as I mentioned before, is going to be through a link, both emailed and simultaneously posted to Blackboard to YouTube, similar to what we're doing right now. The following schedule is provisional, and we may need to adjust the sequencing depending on the pace of our online discussions. So yeah, this is not a hard and fast schedule. There is some flexibility. We have a couple days off actually within our schedule, so I don't foresee it changing that much. But if it does, so be it. I'll have to send out a revised due date schedule if that happens, detailed course content to you if that does take place. So here we go. I'm just gonna go through this. Once we get past, say, the first month, you're gonna see a pattern materialize here of how this semester is going to unfold. You'll see that it's sort of cyclical. So September 4th is a Friday. Introduction to the course and class expectations. That's today. You're receiving this review of the course outline. September 7th, Monday. Great. Right after the weekend, we get a long weekend, no class. So nothing's due that day. September 11th, Friday, review elements of personal essay with examples. So I'll review what I believe are the most important parts of a personal essay. I'll give you a really strong example, and then we'll show the due date on it and what our expectations are moving forward for that. September 14th, Monday, review. This is an essay, Black Men in Public Space. Comments due via Blackboard discussion. So that simply means we're going to review it together. When I say review, it's a lecture. I'm delivering a lecture to you, and we're reviewing whatever topic that is that day. In this particular day, it's an essay, an outstanding essay called Black Men in Public Space. I think it's very relevant. It was written in the 80s, but it's very relevant today. And I'll go through it with you online through the YouTube video, and then you will go in and I'll post a question in Blackboard, and you are going to just make comments, right, on this topic, which is this essay. September 18th, Friday, personal essay rough drafts due via Blackboard. Student workshop comments due via Blackboard discussion. All right, so your rough drafts, you would have had a number of days throughout the week, plenty of days actually, it looks like, to think about what you want to write your personal essay on after you receive the initial personal essay lecture, right? Elements personal essay. And then you would have posted your essay. This worked out well during the summer, so I suspect it will for these classes as well. You're posted to Blackboard. Students then we'll enter the workshop phase, which is what this class really relies upon, is your ability as a student to go in and peer review other students' essays, right? Give them pointers, say, yeah, this is great here. No, this is really not working here. You have some great description here. I love how you integrated dialogue, something of that nature, right? General commentary, just so each student within this class can get some feedback, right, on their essays in order to make them sharper. Student workshop comments due via Blackboard discussion. So it looks like this is where it opens up for the discussion, and it continues on. You don't have to just simply do that day. So September 21st, Monday, student workshop comments due via Blackboard discussion. So you have that day as well to comment on the personal essay rough draft that everybody would have posted to Blackboard. Chapter 6 summary due via email. So you're going to summarize Chapter 6. And it doesn't have to be anything more than, say, a paragraph. You just go in, read the chapter, jot some notes down. I would say a paragraph is a really good size for this. And then email it to me. And it's important when you email it to me, you let me know what section of 252 you're in, as I'm teaching 3 of these, and then 2 other classes as well that aren't English 252. But just tell me the section. In this case, it would be WBMA. So put that either in the heading of the assignment, in the subject line of the email, somewhere, so I can tell which class this is. And then we're going to review MLA formatting style. And this is important to get done earlier on, right? We haven't turned in a final of anything yet, a final essay or draft, right? So you have time to go back if you didn't format your personal essay rough draft correctly. And that's something someone can comment on as well within the Blackboard workshop discussion is, hey, your MLA is all over the place. If you happen to know MLA formatting style. And yeah, and by this time, by September 21st, you would have had that lecture that you can go back and make any changes to the formatting style of your essay, your personal essay before it's due. September 20th, I want to discuss really quickly. When you go in to comment on student essays, everybody's going to post their essay. I'll give you the instructions on how to post it to Blackboard. There'll be up there as rough drafts. There'll be a window open for everybody to go in and make comments. I want at least 4 comments. So 4 separate essays with 4 unique comments, right? Within that, for that essay, for that individual who wrote that essay. Okay, September 25, we have review elements of expository essay. So now we can start to see the cyclical nature of this, right? We got past the personal essay, and now we're reviewing expository essay. We're moving right on to the next essay, and it should follow the same pattern. Review elements of expository essay with example. Review database research methods. So I'll just go over the databases that exist online on Metastatic Library's website. We'll go over that, how to sort of do some techniques involved with searching. I think most of us are familiar, but we'll just go over it. Again, review it as well. September 28th, Monday, review database research methods. So again, we're sticking with that. And then your final personal essay is due via Blackboard. So now we're done with the personal essay. We've moved on to expository. And if you think about expository, just thinking about it as an essay that's informative. And we're going to talk about it later, how an expository essay is really sort of journalistically, because it's balanced. You're just trying to inform an individual. You're not trying to make them change their minds or argument on behalf of anything. And that's where it really gets tricky, but we'll speak about that later. That's one of the biggest comments I have every semester with 252. When we get to the expository essay, individuals want to argue on behalf of something, but it's highly important. It will affect your grade if you argue on behalf of something in your expository essay. That's fine when we get to the argumentative essay and when we get to the final essay, the research essay. But with this expository essay, you need to demonstrate that you're not going to argue, that you're strictly informing the reader, just like you're reading an article in a magazine or in a newspaper, in a balanced newspaper. October 5th, Monday, student workshop comments due via Blackboard discussion. So we can see this pattern starting to materialize. October 9th, student workshop comments due via Blackboard discussion. Chapter 9 summary due via email. And remember, for that chapter summary, you have to include the section of this class, which is WBMA again. October 13th, woohoo, no class. All right, October 16th, review elements of argumentative essay with example. October 19th, that's pretty straightforward. October 19th, final expository essay due via Blackboard. October 23rd, argumentative essay rough draft due via Blackboard. Student workshop comments due via Blackboard discussion as well. All right, so your poster rough drafts. And then we'll go in and make comments on 4 different essays, right? So if I'm Bob Smith, I post my essay to Blackboard, right? My argumentative essay rough draft. I wash my hands of that. I'm done. Then I go back in for the next 2 days and I make 4 comments, right? You could do it all 4 on the first day. You could do 1 on the first day. It's up to you. You can sort of decide your own timeline. But by the time that window closes, you would have had to have made those 4 comments, or you get points deducted, right? Because it goes directly to the grade center. Once you make that comment, I could see that you made them. October 26th, Monday, student workshop comments due via Blackboard discussion. Chapter 10 summary due via email. October 30th, review elements of research essay. And November 2nd, review elements of research essay with example. So, and we got one more month to do on the next slide, but I couldn't fit it all on this page. But one of the main things you can get out of this is you can see something that the patterns start to materialize. And once we get, say, in the middle, past the first month, I think you're going to get it. I think most students do. And I can clarify any points you need, and we have all due dates are listed. All major due dates are listed later on in the course outline. We'll take a look at that in a moment. Let's go on to the next day and next slide. Okay, so it just continues on. November 6th, a Friday, review relevant topics in research. So we're moving on to the final essay, the research essay, right, which is due December 7th. You can see at the very bottom via Blackboard. And it's important to really that it's kind of like the argumentative essay, right? You are arguing on behalf of something. You're researching it online. You're finding out information. You're parsing out and filtering out the strongest and smartest and most intellectual voices out there. They're speaking on behalf of whatever topic you pick. But it's important to pick a topic that has some level of urgency, right? And that's relevant to our times today. Just like when we read Black Men in Public Space. It has a lot to do with the way race relations, even though it was written in the 80s, those things are cyclical. Those things, unless they're eradicated and mitigated to some degree by legislation, right, by policy, they just reoccur throughout history. So it's important, and we'll get to it. We're going to look at topics that I think are relevant and I think are important topics for our day and age. November 9th, final argument essay due via Blackboard, research thesis due via Blackboard as well. So we're just going to pick a topic, our relevant topic that we want to research, and then we're just going to forge and craft a thesis statement, right? A tight thesis statement that is exemplary of the topics that you want to cover within the research essay, right? And we're going to post those to Blackboard. And then November 13th, no class. November 16th, students now we go into the workshop phase and comment due via Blackboard for this thesis statement, right? Just the thesis statement. You're not posting an essay. We're just going in and we're going to make comments on each individual thesis statement for the research essay. November 20th, your Modern Language Association test via Blackboard. I'll post a test with a number of questions via Blackboard. You go in there, you answer it. You have 1 day to do it. Chapter 11 summary due via email. Again, include the class section for that with the email. November 23rd, review appropriate research style and concepts in revision. So we're going to look at another book that I think really covers the way, some interesting ways to do research, right? That are sort of outside the box. Some of them are tried and true techniques that everybody has to do with research, like citation, things of that nature, but some unique things I think we can glean from this chapter 10, not from your book, from another book I have from another class. November 27th, research essay, rough drafts due via Blackboard. November 30th, student workshop comments via Blackboard. So these next two classes, the 30th and December 4th, you're going in after everybody's posted their essays, and you're making 4 comments on 4 different essays, not the same essay, right? And there we go, December 7th. We're gonna have like 6 feet of snow on the ground. We're starting in summer, but we're ending in because winter is coming, and we're gonna have a lot of snow on the ground, and it's gonna be crazy cold. And we're gonna have ice on the inside of our windows at our house, which is nuts. And that'll be it. That'll be the culmination of this semester. All right. So let's go ahead and we're gonna look at some other parts of this course outline. All right, instructional techniques for this class for English 252. It will function partly as an online workshop, which we already stressed in the dates that I gave you, that we're going to actually go in, post our rough drafts to Blackboard, and then make commentary on for others, right? That is to say, we will craft our essay drafts and other writing assignments in order to peer review them by uploading them to Blackboard. It's one of the best ways you can learn, I think, with writing. Writing is such a, I don't know, there's a mysticism that surrounds writing, and sometimes fear as well. But if you can see where your peers are with regard to how they're engaging when their own writing, I think there's some level of calm and expertise even that you can learn from each other. So classroom activities will include short lectures, demonstrations, explanations, as well as a variety of online worksheets for hands-on practice and experience. And that's really going to center around just our workshop, right? I'm not going to email you a handout or a worksheet and say, hey, fill this in, in response to this class, but it's really going to be you discussing other people's work, the workshop, by, giving commentary on it, uploading your essay, that class participation. Okay, so here we go. In addition, students in English 252 will be enrolled into the Blackboard site specific to this course, available through the Medicine College website. Through Blackboard, students will obtain additional course information and have opportunities for virtual collaboration in groups and on projects. All right, I'll tell you what I did not do for my 2 summer classes, and I'm not going to do it for this class either because it seemed to work. We never had a face-to-face digital meeting. We didn't use Google Meeting or Skype or anything else. We just, if they had any questions, if you have any questions, just like I'm opening this up to you, you just email me and I'll clarify anything. And if I feel as if it's a trend, and that happened a lot, where a couple of people ask the same question, I say, wow, okay, I think the whole entire 20 people class needs to be addressed for everyone. So I'd send out a mass email, and that's what I'll do as well this semester as well. If I see a trend in questioning through email, then I'll just address it to everybody and clarify to everybody what's going on. Grade assessment, fairly typical for English introductory compositional class. Your personal essay, it's our first essay. It's not that hard. It's 10%. While I'm here, each essay, and I would send this during the lecture when it's the week before it's due, the rough draft. But each essay, at least for the first 3 essays, they're going to be 3 to 5 pages long, double spaced, MLA style formatting, right? But 3 to 5 pages. Personal essay is not going to have any citation. It's not going to have a works cited page, because it's really based on your own experience, but you're going to get all that information in the lecture on each of these lectures, what is due. But just to give you a feeling for what's going to happen, it's each are 3 to 5 pages. It gets longer as we get to the research essay, right? We're going 5 to 7 pages for the research essay, but just know the first 3 essays are 3 to 5 page essays. Okay, personal essay, 10%. Expository essay. Remember, we're also calling an informative essay, just to inform the reader, not persuade them or argument on behalf of anything. That's 15%. So you can see the grades, the percentages are getting higher as the assignments hopefully are getting more sophisticated. Argumentative essay, 15%. Research essay, now we're getting to larger numbers. These are more important. We're getting later into the semester. We would have received a plethora of instruction on both MLA and on how to compose mechanically and with great content. So by the time we get to research essay, there's more at stake. It's 20% of your grade. And look how large too, it as well as the next one is online workshop participation. Your participation is 20%. It's easy to get if you just do it. If you just go in there, read individuals' essays, comment on them, participate in the discussion, you're going to get those points. If you don't, you're not. And it's a large chunk of almost a quarter of the grading scheme. Then we have chapter/text summaries, 5%. It's a small amount, but it's free if you just do the text summaries, the chapter summaries. And then MLA test, 15%. Okay, dates of major assessments. Hopefully, these will stay the same. They won't shift, hopefully. But let's see here. Personal essay final draft, September 28th. So you have the whole of semester to craft your rough draft, post it to the Blackboard, comment on it. Individuals going to comment on it. And then you take that advice or you say, no, I don't care what you say about what you think I should change my essay. And you turn it in on September 28th. You have the whole month, right? Then expository essay final draft, October 19th. Argumentative essay final draft, November 9th. MLA test, November 20th via Blackboard. Research essay final draft, December 7th. So the last day of class. And then participation, Blackboard forums, assignments, and workshops will be conducted and due throughout the semester. Final exam, you'll be very happy to know there's no midterm or final exam within this English compositional class. I don't think I've ever been in a class that had ENGL in front of it for an English class that had an exam. So yeah, so you'll be happy to know and relieved when we enter those dark days of midterms and mid-semester, and then those darker days and colder days of December at the conclusion of the semester, that you won't have a final exam within this class. Okay, late assignments are penalized, 10% per day late. You must write me prior to the assignment due date if you're facing challenges that require you to be rescheduled, and that's fine. Just email me, let me know. Bear in mind, because I know we're living in difficult times. It's hard to stay motivated. I remember, gosh, when I was in undergraduate or graduate school. No, it was undergraduate school. I did an online course. I think it was political science, and it sucked. I hated it. It takes a lot of discipline. And sometimes it's hard depending on just sort of mode of delivery. Back then, it was just they sent you packets. You got emailed packets, and it was up to you to self-motivate to get through all assignments. You barely spoke to the instructor at all. We didn't do anything online other than the email, right? Okay, so I understand if there's some problems, and we'll try to work with you, right? Within reason. Bear in mind that rescheduling any assignment due date must occur before the original due date and must be in writing. So don't do it on the day of. Hopefully not on the day of, right? It's due today. You're freaking out because you have another online class or whatever you've put off for so long, revising your rough draft, right? Just try to make it before you really start to hit that brick wall, and then we can really start to really amend the schedule for you. Plagiarized work will of course result in a grade of 0 upon first offense and will result in a failure of the course upon second offense. There's only been a couple times that that someone did it, they plagiarized, they reacted as if they didn't know they plagiarized, but I said, hey, heads up here, this is clearly not your writing. I Googled it. Now, in fact, I know it's not your writing. Did you just forget to put quotation marks around it? So you can always save yourself. Just if it's not your writing, just put quotation marks around it. Cite it. Say according to, give it attribution. According to so-and-so, a leading expert in the field of this, said, quote, right? Blah, 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 unquote. Examples of plagiarism include copying passages from another source without proper attribution. So attribution is according to, and this was done by this person, or this person said, right? That's attribution, attributing to someone else. Paraphrasing another author's work without attribution, so both direct quote and paraphrase, and handing in work already evaluated in another course. Remember that. That's going to become important. I get essays all the time, at least one or two per class, that it's in APA style, clearly in API style. They may no attempt to make it MLA, and the subject matter is like what you would write if you had a biology class, right? So I know it's from a science class they would have taken, right? Handing in work already evaluated in another course, so we can't do that, and passing off another person's work as your own. So we just need to avoid that, and the way to avoid that is to oversitation and attribution, right? According to so and so. Give them quotes, give direct quotes if you're directly quoting. Make sure we know that you're paraphrasing, right? Academic, and then I think this will become more apparent when we see examples of essays that I'll show you, especially when we get to the expository and argumentative and the research. Academic dishonesty. Plagiarism and cheating are serious offenses and may be punished by failure on exam, paper, or project, failure in course, and or expulsion from the course. All right, so here's my quick story about plagiarism too, is you can accidentally plagiarize. It can happen. So the way it happens, and the way to avoid that, as I said before, is to make sure you have proper attribution. I want us to have attribution for all our quotes, according to so-and-so, right? Um, and then qualify them as a leading expert. Why are they a strong voice in the vacuous space of ignorance for the subject matter, right? Qualify them with their credentials or their experience, right? And that'll become important when we get to the expository essay. Just sort of put it in the back of your head for right now, since we're just doing personal essay for our first rough draft assignment. But the way you can accidentally plagiarize is if you sat down, and I know I've probably done something similar before. I sit down, I was an undergraduate or I was in graduate school, and I know I have an essay due. I go out there, I research it. I have some really good quotes that I want to pull from websites. So I pull those quotes, put them in my Word document, and I say, yeah, I'm going to use these quotes. I just need to somehow put my voice around them to make sure they integrate within the essay properly, so they read properly. It don't still seem like quotes that are set next to each other, right? I forget to put the attribution in, right? And I walk away for, say, 2 weeks. I come back 2 weeks later. I think it's my writing. I think it's my voice on the paper, and that I didn't borrow from a website because I didn't put quotation marks. I didn't put attribution in. So I'm like, okay, wow, I'm really smart. I guess I am. I'm getting smarter because I'm in college, so I just go with it, right? And then it gets Googled by the instructor, and they find out, well, this isn't your voice. This isn't your words at all. You just borrowed these. What happened? It was like, well, gosh, I did the research. I know I did because I was interested in the topic, the subject matter. You know what? I bet I thought this was me that said this, because I walked away from it for so long. So just be very careful. What I do when I put quotes in an essay or a paper that I'm writing or anything I'm writing, and I haven't cited it yet, I color it red. I highlight it and make the font red. That way I know it's not me talking. And then before I turn my essay in, you got to make everything black again, of course, because that's MLA, right? Okay, so common grading scheme here. Again, you're going to get a rubric that outlines what a good, excellent essay is, what a good essay is, what a mediocre essay is, and then what a failing essay is. So that's going to be sort of our contract with each other. You'll be able to get the grade back from me with a little bit of feedback, with some feedback of what I think is good and what I think is bad. And that's our contract. I'll be able to say, you might argue, well, I'm only 1 point away from an A. Well, then I'll say, look at the rubric. Do you really think you met the standard for MLA for your grammatical mechanics, your construction of the paragraph, a really good, tight opening paragraph that distills down to a really good thesis statement, a summary, and great proximity of the thesis statement. So it's going to become important at some point. Typical grading scheme here. I'll let you read that at your leisure. Oh, something really quickly I wanted to touch upon from the grading scheme from the last slide is that you are going to get essays back where I intentionally, because it's not good enough to be an A, I intentionally make it a B, right? Even when it's just 1 point difference, because the writing's just not there yet. It's just not A writing yet, right? So that's going to become important, and that's up to you. It's incumbent upon you to improve for that 1 point as you progress through the other essays, right? And it happens. I see an individual progress. I'm like, yeah, now they're meeting the threshold of an A. They're moving up from an A minus to an A plus, just moving through the levels. They're learning, right? Some of you are going to be A papers right off the bat, right out of the gate, right? That's fine. Some's going to take some time, right? That's what this class is all about. It's all about learning. It's all about progression. It's all about sticking to the standard of the rubric. All right, here we go. Let's read this now. If you're just at the top here, if you're a student that requires additional accommodation to support your learning, and have been approved through our Accessibility Service Office, room B367, please contact your instructor prior to exams or any other forms of evaluation if accommodation is desired. There's always individuals that have need accommodations, a couple within each class. I don't know how. We have a test, yes, in this class. You're going to have the whole day to do it, so that meets that standard for accommodations. So that's really the only thing that you're going to need more time on if you do have accommodations. But you're not going to need more time because you have the whole day. Mental health statement. This is very important, guys. If you went through my orientation, they put together like a montage of various instructors talking about different subject matter about integrating into college life and things of that nature. And I chose to do my lecture. It was like a 5-minute, 6-minute lecture on mental health. So I covered a lot of this, and it's available to you, this mental health counseling sessions for free at Medicine College. Let's just go ahead and read this verbatim. Medicine College recognizes the importance of student mental health and well-being and has many resources available for supporting students throughout their academic journey. Services such as counseling, support groups, self-help modules dedicated to helping you manage things like anxiety, stress, depression, and relationships are accessible to students on the campus as well as online. So now it's strictly online. I don't know why I didn't change this in the course outline. It's strictly online or over the phone or through Skype, which is online. Uh, to connect with mental health and counseling, visit the student advising desk across from registration, which you can't do anymore, or by calling, do this if you need it, 403-529-3819. Information is available online at this web link, as you can see here. And I implore you to do so, especially when we enter those dark days where you really have a lot of assignments coalescing and you're getting stressed out. Reach out to these individuals. That's what their training is in, and they're good at it. They'll certainly be able to help you. In addition, the Student At-Risk Support Team, SARS, is here to respond to concerns around mental health and physical well-being, security, and academic issues, offering additional intervention and connecting students with appropriate resources on campus at this web link. All right. So interesting. Look at this first paragraph up here. Medicine College recognizing the importance of student mental health and well-being. Look at that well-being. It's not hyphenated. But when we get to the third paragraph, well, on the second line, physical well-being, it is hyphenated. And I would say to you, if you turn your essay in, I'd say you need to be consistent. I don't care which one you use, just stick to one. Stick to the hyphenated word well-being, or stick to the when you smash the word together well-being. Right? So consistency is what we're looking for within your essay writing, your mechanics too. Okay. Students' responsibilities: attend online class lectures the day they are posted. It's better you do it that way. I mean, I guess I could foresee someone. I have no idea when you're watching the video. I guess I could look at the statistics on on YouTube, the analytics. But I really don't care as long as you're meeting the threshold of turning in the assignments and commenting on the due dates online on Blackboard, right? You can save all your videos to watch at the end of the week or on the weekend. Up to you, as long as you can keep up in the class and do everything when it's due. Read all assigned text prior to class. Craft all class assignments using strictly MLA formatting style. I used to just have MLA formatting style. I didn't qualify by saying strictly, but everybody keeps turning in APA, so now I have to put in strictly. MLA formatting style. We're going to go over that. You're going to know MLA, right? By the end of certainly by the middle of the semester, you'll be a master in MLA, hopefully, if you just pay attention, and that you will. APA is not permitted. Be attentive and respectful to the instructor and your fellow students at all times. That's typical. I've never had a student really act out. Be observant of all the diversity of ideas and subject matter expressed in this class. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, that was it. That wasn't that painful. Questions, concerns, feel free to email me at any point during the semester. And I mean this, if you have any questions or concerns, anything you need clarification for, I'll be sure to respond right away typically. If it's the weekend, maybe it's a little later, but I'll definitely respond that day. Very important, include your class section, in this case WBMA, in the email so I know which English 252 class to respond to, especially if I realize it's becoming a trend, the questions that you're asking. And I was like, okay, well, it seems like something needs to be addressed holistically within the whole class. And the WBMA, sorry, will tell me which class to email on mass. All right, so any questions, let me know. We're going to have a good semester. We're going to get in there and write our essays and do some commentary and some discussion, and I think it'll work out okay. Let me know if you have any questions. Talk to you later. Bye.